Hey guys, what's up? Tyler here. One topic that I don't talk about as much on this channel is real-world science and space news. There's so much going on today that a lot of announcements get kind of lost in the shuffle. China landing a rover on Mars, the discovery of new exoplanets, new dinosaur fossils discovered, etc. But one recent science-related story that hasn't flown under the radar, so to speak, nearly as much is the recently released unclassified information about UFOs. The media has been talking about it, government and military officials are going on record giving their official thoughts, and numerous scientists and science communicators are picking apart the videos and other evidence of these elusive objects. Though we did get some footage released by the Pentagon in 2017 showing some apparent UFOs, the more recent barrage of information about UFOs seen by Navy pilots and instruments is giving this issue some newfound exposure. The degree to which this is happening has compelled me to give my own thoughts on the subject because I think it's worth talking about. One of the hats that I like to wear on this channel is that of the science communicator in training, as well as that of the skeptic. This UFO stuff is evidently a much more divisive issue than I had initially thought, with strong feelings on both sides. In this video, I'll examine some of the arguments surrounding these new UFOs and give my opinion. What exactly are they? Now, first things first, something to get out of the way. UFO stands for Unidentified Flying Object. Obviously, the explanation that a lot of people want to believe is that they are alien spacecraft. There are even a lot of people who have a vested interest, a monetary interest, in trying to prove that these are, in fact, alien spaceships. The evidence that they point to, the fact that these objects are oddly shaped, that they seem to hover and lack normal propulsion systems, that they can accelerate at velocities that would kill any organic pilot, it's pretty eyebrow-raising, admittedly. But what we have to understand as intelligent people who use our best tools to uncover the truth is that there are alternative explanations. Let's take some of the recent footage released as a provision of the COVID relief bill. This footage, shot by infrared cameras operated by the United States Navy, seemed to track an object that was moving in a very strange way and followed a lot of the other characteristics that I mentioned earlier. It's moving incredibly fast, doesn't leave an exhaust trail, and is vaguely orb-shaped. This is a UFO defined by the correct parameters. It wasn't a plane or a drone or anything that had a predetermined flight path. It most likely wasn't a bird, and yet it moved. So what could this be? Well, keep in mind, these are infrared cameras that we're talking about, and of course infrared light is part of the electromagnetic spectrum, just like ultraviolet light, X-rays, gamma rays, microwaves, radio waves, and of course visible light. Infrared energy is better defined as heat. Think the movie Predator. Just like visible light, infrared energy can cause glare, often called infrared or IR glare. This often shows up on sensors as a typical atmospheric phenomenon, such as a temperature inversion or so-called ball lightning, electrostatic energy that forms under certain weather conditions. This IR glare is something that we wouldn't normally see because we don't see an infrared. The world would appear very strange if we could see all of the electromagnetic waves coming from all kinds of sources, not just the environment, but also our technological devices. What's more likely, that this is a spacecraft from an alien civilization that is moving in ways that defy our understanding of flight itself, or it's an IR glare or other camera artifact? Plus, how come all these UFO videos are so low res? Where are the HD videos of UFOs? These cameras, which were recently installed on the planes before this footage was taken, by the way, aren't perfect. And even though billions of dollars are poured into our military every year, something like IR glare or a speck of dust or something else moving at the same angle as the camera that's not an actual craft is bound to happen. But wait, you say, what about all the eyewitness testimonies, as well as the fact that these objects showed up on other sensors such as radar? What about the radar? Well, firstly, eyewitness testimonies can be flawed. I'm not saying that these people who are trained pilots and military officials with little reason to lie about something like this didn't see something that they couldn't explain. But no one high in the ranks of government or the military has stated that these are likely alien spacecraft. It just hasn't happened. What they'll say, accurately, is that they don't know what to make of these objects, and that is a 100% perfectly reasonable assessment. Even the IR glare hypothesis is not definitive proof in and of itself. It's just another theory that uses Occam's razor, the idea that the simplest explanation is usually the correct one, to frame the conversation in a way that is bounded within reason. Humans are biased, and those biases can cause us to jump to conclusions in the absence of solid evidence. As for the radar observations, listen, radar artifacts are a thing too. Sometimes clouds can be mistaken as intercontinental ballistic missiles, for crying out loud. The same can be said about a lot of other videos showing UFOs, including the 2017 Pentagon releases. The possibility that these are camera artifacts or heat sources or anything besides alien spacecraft is a possibility that has to be considered. Once you've exhausted all these possibilities, then and only then is it relevant to bring otherworldly explanations into the conversation. But all these possibilities haven't been exhausted. This isn't to say, of course, that there isn't compelling reason to believe that these objects might be artificial in nature. As an ancestor of Spock once said, once you eliminate the impossible, whatever's left, however improbable, must be the truth. One hypothesis that's been shared around quite a bit is that these are experimental aircraft developed by other countries' militaries, possibly spy aircraft with advanced stealth technology. But the question that has to be asked is this: why would these other countries let their top secret aircraft get caught on camera by Navy planes? And why would the US government release footage that could pose a national security risk and prove that there's a technological gap between us and other countries, a technological gap that they would try to not even let exist in the first place? Remember, these are unclassified, not declassified, meaning that there was never an attempt to cover them up in the first place. President Obama said recently on Jimmy Kimmel that he was made aware during his presidency about numerous reports of genuine UFOs, objects that defied normal expectations that couldn't be easily categorized. Now, this is not incredibly surprising given everything that we've just been through, and it makes it all the more curious, in my opinion, that Trump didn't let anything slip about potential secrets at Area 51. But regardless of the existence of genuine UFOs, which they do exist, where does that leave the possibility of aliens existing, period? That's a separate question altogether, of course, but it's one that I wanted to explore in this video as well. The 2020 Netflix show Alien Worlds, which I reviewed in February, speculates what life might be like on planets outside our solar system, using real-world astrobiology theories as a basis. The fourth episode of the series has a really cool segment in which astrophysicist Adam Frank describes the scope of our search for extraterrestrial life. So far, about 4,000 exoplanets have been confirmed, and there are thousands more that are candidates waiting for further observation to see if they're real or not. But there are an estimated 100 billion stars in the Milky Way galaxy alone, with billions of galaxies in the universe. In other words, we've cataloged an incredibly small number of planets in our own galaxy, a fraction of a percent. He described it as a bucket of water compared to an entire ocean. With this in mind, I think that the chances that life not only exists, but intelligent life exists in the universe and possibly in our own galaxy is substantial. There's no way in my mind that we're alone. Even if you apply the Drake equation, a rough Fermi-type estimation of how many habitable planets and intelligent civilizations there are in the universe that we may contact, using very narrow parameters, there's still thousands, possibly millions of other intelligent civilizations that we could contact during the lifetime of our species. It's not crazy, I think, to believe that there are a number of intelligences, some spacefaring, some possibly resembling humans on some level, even if not in the Star Trek or Mass Effect sense, that exist in probably every spiral galaxy. But how come we haven't heard from them? This is the question at the heart of the Fermi paradox. If we assume even a conservative estimation of the number of intelligent spacefaring species, where the heck are they? Well, coming up with an answer to this question is by no means simple given all the variables at play, I do think that it's reasonable to suspect that we might not have been contacted due to the sheer size of time and space. The distances involved in interstellar travel probably make it a very rare achievement for most civilizations, many of which probably cause themselves to go extinct by means of nuclear or biological warfare or some other kind of destructive death. Or maybe they live on the day side of a tidally locked planet orbiting a red dwarf, and they're just not aware of the wider universe, as they only see one star, their sun. And of course, our species has only been around for 200,000 or 300,000 years, compared to the 13.8 billion years that the universe has existed. Even given the number of civilizations that could exist, it's not surprising, really, that we haven't been contacted in the brief existence of our species. By the way, another possibility that a lot of astrobiologists are giving more serious consideration these days is that most spacefaring alien life may be mechanical in nature, that is, cybernetic. This makes some sense given the propensity of machines to be more efficient at completing various difficult tasks, and sending robotic probes to other planets is just one example of this. Advanced alien civilizations might just find it more worthwhile, given the vast distances of space and time, to stay on their home planet and send out robotic probes to explore the universe for them, possibly with uploaded consciousnesses. If some weight were to be given to the idea that UFOs are actually spacecraft, which they're most likely not, the fact that they accelerate at speeds with hundreds of G-forces may mean that they're not operated by organic pilots, but by AIs or other automated guiding systems. Of course, it should be noted that advanced human-level AI and cyborgs are not an inevitability, given a lot of engineering and medical and other obstacles that are present, but hey, at least it's a fun theory. The prospect of alien life existing in the universe is something that I've always had at least a passing interest in. Maybe not so much on a day-to-day basis like some UFOologists, but at least as a scientific curiosity, especially given all the recent advancements in science. Better telescopes, better detection methods, more exoplanets discovered. It really is something that fascinates me. It's why I think things like SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, are worth it. Yes, even with government funding. The sooner that we discover alien life exists, the more prepared we'll be, theoretically, to take our next steps into exploring the universe and possibly joining a galactic community. Plus, every advance in space science pushes forward other areas: computing, medicine, climatology, engineering, etc. That's the real search for aliens that I'm interested in. I don't think that we've been contacted by any, and I don't think that there are any here now, but I do think that they're out there. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I know this may actually be a divisive issue for a lot of people in my audience, in fact, so feel free to voice your opinions in the comments and let me know if there's any other UFO related or alien related topics that you might want to see me cover in a future one-off video. If you like this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below and don't forget to share it. That stuff really helps me out. As always, if you have not subscribed yet, be sure to do that too so you won't miss future uploads, and click the bell icon to receive all notifications. If you want to support my work even further, you can become a patron or a member. Links to those, as well as my social media and merch store, are in the description below. That's about all I have for today. I'll see you in the next video.